All right, so we're ready to start working on our results section of our lab report. So go to the results section. You can read this part right here. It talks about putting in tables, graphs, and all of that kind of stuff. One of the biggest things is to remember that you have titles and labels on everything that you put in this section. Start by putting your cursor in front of the word all and moving this paragraph down by pressing the enter button or return. Then move back up. We're now ready to put in our table. We created our tables on our Glider Day 1 Google Sheet. Go to that sheet. Whether you made one table or two tables, we need all the information in our report. So I'm going to take both of mine. So I'll copy this first one using Command-C to copy. And I'm going to go back to my write-up and post it in there. It'll ask me if I want to link this to the spreadsheet. What that does is it allows me to change data in the spreadsheet, and it automatically changes it in the lab report for me. So just hit paste. We should see a nice table show up. I have a title, I have labels on everything, and I have units, distance in meters. I'm going to put the cursor on the side and add another table. Back to Glider Day 1, get my second table with the title, copy it, back to the lab report, and paste. Again, link it to the spreadsheet, just hit paste. I now have two data tables excuse me, in the results section that have all the information we need. Again, it's okay if you just made one. Now we want to add a graph to our results section because it's never enough just to show the data in a table. So we're going to go back to the Glider Day 1 spreadsheet. All the information that we really need in the graph is just the averages and the ability to compare the averages. So I've already started creating a new table up here for us to compare the averages, and I will build a graph using that new table. So we need titles and labels. So I'm originally going to call this glider or glider type. And over here we'll put distance in meters. We have an original glider, and my original glider, the average was 6 meters, so I put 6. My modified glider with 3 hoops flew 8.4. It did better. Woohoo! Now that I have this table created, I'm just going to highlight the whole table, go to Insert, Chart, just like we've done in the past, and it gives me a pie chart. That's not what I want. I'm trying to compare, so I should use a bar graph. So I'm going to click this one. But for some reason, it only gives me one bar. If you look down here, you can see that the scale is off. It starts at 6, and that's where my original glider ended. So I'm going to have to fix mine. So I go to Customize, I go to Vertical Axis, and I tell it that I want a minimum value of 0 so that it adjusts it and puts both of my titles in, or both of my data sets in. This title is not good, so I need to change the title of my graph. Glider comparison. That'll work. I have a title or a label on the y-axis, and I have a label on the x-axis, so my graph is ready to be put into our lab report. So, to move it into the lab report, all you do is select the graph by clicking on it, and you'll see the 3 dots up here. These are your options. When you click on them, all you want to do is go down to where it says Copy Chart. So I copy my chart. I go back to my lab report, make sure I have a space ready to go, and I just hit Command-V or paste. Again, it asks if I want to link to the spreadsheet, and I do, so I hit paste. Now I have 2 data tables, both with titles, and a graph, also with a title, excuse me. Now I can actually adjust this, make it bigger, smaller, whatever I want, to keep it in there. Okay, the last thing we want to add to our results section are pictures of our original and our modified gliders. So I'm going to move down below the graph and just make sure I'm on a blank line and go right here where it says Insert. And I'm going to click Insert Image. Once I'm in Insert Image, I just want to go from My Drive. That's where you should have your 2 gliders. Here's my original glider. And so I select it, and it puts it in. It's way too big, so I'm going to shrink it down. Then I'm going to move my cursor next to it, space over, and do it again. Insert, image, only now I want my new glider, my modified glider with 3 hoops. Boom shakalaka, there goes my glider. Make it the same size, and now it's in there. Now, you should always label your images so that we know what it is. So I'm going to say this is my original glider. Modified glider. This is all that's needed in the results section. I go down, I take away the writing that I put in there and hit delete so that all I have in the results section are tables, a graph, and my pictures. The end. The discussion is on here, and Mrs. Paulson will also put it up on the screen for you to type. Remember, the red stuff is what's going to be different from my discussion and yours, depending on what variable you chose and what your data said. Good luck. Watch this video as much as you can to help you get through this. I'll see you guys Tuesday.